Am I the butthole for telling family members to take down their posts congratulating me for a major accomplishment when they made fun of my career until now? I'm keeping this as anonymous as possible because I don't want this coming back to me. I've been working as a crew member in the film industry for several years at this point. While I was always passionate about movies and knew I wanted to work in the entertainment industry, my family never supported me. They are a very religious family from the Midwest with some very narrow-minded ideas. I could go into further detail, but one of their long-standing beliefs is that Hollywood is going to turn me gay or into a socialist. I'm married with a kid, but it doesn't stop my uncles and cousins from cracking gay jokes or trying to make me vote their way every time I visit. Then I got a gig working for a movie a couple of years ago. I can't say what movie it was, but the director is known to be pretty left-winged. I had already stopped talking to most of my relatives by then, but they still talked trash about how I was supporting anti-Americanism and labeled me stuff that would get this post banned by working on this film. As I'm typing this, the film I worked is an Academy Award nominee. I know Reddit likes to crap on the Oscars, but for a guy like me, this is a huge deal and I couldn't be prouder to be a part of it. Apparently my family now thinks so too because their bookface feeds are all about praising me and the movie. Even all the members who bullied me, signed me up for certain political mailing lists, and never supported my career are chiming in. I don't want to go into further detail, but normally they would be singing another, radically different tune if you catch my drift. My wife is kind of pissed at me now because I took to bookface and called everybody out. I made this post venting about all the ways they were buttholes to me growing up and leading up to now and how they took every way possible to undermine my career. That I am happy and proud of the life I've made. And if I were actually to make an Oscar speech, I sure as hell wouldn't be thanking them because they never gave a damn about my accomplishments because it agreed with their effed up ideology. So they should take down all those posts praising my movie because it makes them look like idiots, especially when you compare it to the rest of the stuff they usually post. My relatives have been spamming my social media and phone and berating me for my post. That I am ungrateful and I owe it to them, for what, I don't know. My wife, while she doesn't like them either, thinks I went overboard and I should have just cut ties with the toxic members and ignore the posts. I disagree, they treated me like garbage for years, so they don't deserve to piggyback on what is basically the biggest high of my career so far. If I don't tell them to knock it off, they'll just continue to mooch on it from afar. Am I the butthole? Not the butthole. It is hard to be in a creative field even with a supportive family, and you are allowed to let them know what you think about their Fairweather fandom. But your wife is also right, you should just cut the negative away and not feed into it, that at least the artist in you deserves. I understand why original poster made the post. He made his point and now it's time to listen to the wife and remove them not only from Facebook but also from his life. This is it, understandable reasoning and actions, but he made his point very well. Time to start cutting and moving past them. Yes, this unfriend and block them all everywhere. And well done, original poster on the Oscar nomination. As a film lover and someone who has worked in film journalism before, that's a fantastic achievement. Perhaps original poster can make one more post before unfriending everyone, after years or decades of belittling and hateful insults. The hypocrisy of this praise at my success is the straw that broke the camel's back, revealing the motives of selfishness and greed. Greed because they want to be associated with me and my efforts after years of trying to tear me down. This shows not just disregard, but that they would go so far as to use me for their selfish benefit. Allah, that's my cousin/nephew. It's nice to not let them reap what they didn't sow, and actively try to destroy. I think we all dream of having this kind of comeuppance against those who have wronged us or made us feel like crap about pursuing a goal, and can be very damaging if you're younger and impressionable. If this were my husband, I would be applauding him. And then recommending he enjoy the moment and go low to no contact. Absolutely 1000%. So that's how you spell comeuppance r/today I learned. Reddit link. Yep. In industry terms, leave all that mess on the cutting room floor and make what you really want out of your career. Congrats on the nomination. So exciting. I understand why original poster made the post as well, but in my experience, calling people out on social media only leads to a bunch of random people knowing your business. So I get why his wife is mad at him too. Yep, am I the butthole? Isn't the right question here so much as Tifu? Yup, exactly. Original poster should have been worried about this post affecting his profession. Agreed with the above. Not only does the post spark more crap with the family, but even if they didn't respond, he's putting energy and thought into an issue that doesn't need more life. Better off emotionally by letting it go. That being said, I probably would have posted the same when I was still on social media. Still not the butthole. Feel better, original poster. His family already put his business out there, so people are going to form their opinions either way. He deserves to at least have his side of the story there. My family is very similar and they do not have any boundaries. You can't really fight bigots, they are too stupid to have a logical argument, but you can provide evidence that they're wrong. Here's the thing. My dad pulls the same crap, so I just have him blocked. It is glaringly obvious he's in butthole when I am publicly friends with my mom but have him blocked. I don't have to say anything, but the F you to him is abundantly clear. Exactly. Original poster isn't going to get what he wants, his family seeing the error of their ways and disconnecting emotionally from his accomplishments. The best way forward is to do what it takes to let them have less of his headspace. This is so true. I totally get why you did what you did, but probably would have done it with a private message. Calling people out on social media just unnecessarily airs your family's dirty laundry and publicly embarrasses the person making the post, which I don't think was actually your goal as much as just getting the point across. I'd argue that a motivation for making it is to embarrass the person who made the post in the first place. If it wasn't to make a public announcement and display the bigot's true colors to the internet, then why would they not message them individually? Either way, I totally get it though, and I agree with your opinion. Yes. I would never delete the post, but would cut all ties. Also, every year when Facebook reminded me of the post, I would repost. Just as a reminder. I'm petty and I don't care. I used to, but found out it's better to not give any FS. Especially when people like reminding you of your mistakes. Okie dokie, here you go, a collection of go F yourself. Agreed. Not the butthole. But cut out the negatives and the posts since you made your point. Enjoy your accomplishments and don't look back. I agree with what original poster did, but I can also understand where the wife is coming from. She probably knew they would spam/harass original poster and just didn't want him dealing with an onslaught of their BS. Good on original poster for calling them out, and I also agree with Op's wife, cut ties. I second this. You're not the butthole for making your post. They needed to be called on their behavior, otherwise they'd keep it up and try to walk all over boundaries in your life. If they're not there to support you, then they don't get to reap the benefits. Honestly, after making the post and calling out their crafty behavior, go no contact with all of them who treated you terribly for years. There's zero reason to have these toxic people in your life or in your child's life. I'm a playwright and literally in the same boat. I'm dreading the day my family starts posting crap all over their walls after my stuff premieres. The content of my writing is content my family would hate because it's not happy enough, or you shouldn't be writing this as a Christian woman. Honestly, original poster, if and when that happens, I would do the same thing before cutting them off. The best I'd do for a Tony speech is thank you to everyone who didn't support me for giving me the drive to prove you wrong. Absolutely not the butthole. Not the butthole. Agreed. You are letting their negativity ruin your accomplishment. Ignore them. Block them on FB, etc. Get on with your life and be incredibly happy with what you have accomplished. Don't spend any more brainpower on them, as doing so is letting them win. Definitely agree to the cutting the ties part. Not as much of an accomplishment, but I grew up similarly. Conservative lunatic family, constantly told me I need to go to college to get an education and make something of myself, but now that I'm graduated with an associate's and working on my bachelor's, I'm one of them bleedin' heart libtards, and college made me that way. I don't talk to my family much anymore. I cut all of that crap out. Only sometimes talk to my parents because they're still right-wing, but at least I don't think they would have participated in storming the Capitol. Agreed. You've expended enough negative energy on them. Time to move on. And congratulations. I agree with at Big Rad _Wolf and at Hello _Friends. Not the butthole. I understand when people say take the higher, more civil route, but sometimes you have to get down and dirty and call people out for their bullcrap. You defended yourself and the life you built, the life they spent so long trying to tear down. Your wife is understandably upset, but you did it the nice way long enough. It was time to take a firmer stance. Original poster replies. Amen to that, brother. You are not the butthole original poster, and I really do understand your need to vent. So I don't think you're TA for calling out your family's toxic behavior. That said, I also think your wife is not the butthole here too. I agree with the idea that if these people inspire such stress and vitriol, it's time to have a sit down with yourself and reevaluate if you truly want to keep these people in your life. Original poster, it might be better and make you happier in the long run to block some of these relatives and go low or no contact with them. Lastly, if you're up for a public award, it might be best to delete the post and maybe your bi profile from the book of face altogether. Original poster, I just don't want members of the academy or the press to find something in your post history and use it against you. P.S. The only reason I didn't put no buttholes here is because your relatives are the buttholes. Original poster, I just don't want members of the academy or the press to find something in your post history and use it against you. For a member of the crew, there is essentially no chance of that. It would have to be extremely problematic, like white supremacist BS, for a crew member's social media to be in any way scrutinized during the process. If you're dead set on burning bridges, especially in circumstances where you are in the right, go nuclear. Don't half-butt it. More people need to be called out on their behavior. They want to co-opt your hard work without the investment in supporting you, don't let them. Their words and accomplishments reflect who they are. Your words and accomplishments reflect who you are. His wife is understandably upset, but it's hard to understand what a lifetime of toxic family crap does to you. Yes, cut ties, but I can understand the built-up rage and frustration that makes you need to say something back on book face. I agree with calling them out, but it's clear that they won't change and the toxicity will continue no matter what. For original poster's own sanity, it's usually best to not engage because it's like you're talking logic and reality to a wall. Honestly, taking the high road is fine in most cases, but when others start to push their agenda to the public, then it is worth sharing the information, since they effectively started it and opened the floor to opinions. My ex basically gaslit me for years, cheated multiple times and said horrible things about me to everyone, so when I finally found out and left him, he started to spin the story in his favor. We are from a smaller town and community where everyone knows each other, and I didn't want everyone in my business on why we broke up after years, but essentially heard rumors that I'm a massive B word that broke his heart. I got fed up, made a public post on Facebook tagging him with the proof, simple screenshot of him and another girl which he posted months before we broke up, and just a quick explanation that I have nothing to hide and that I won't be ashamed because someone is a bad person. Got called a lot of names in the book by him, couldn't care less, and I felt amazing. When people start to exploit you to get pity, like in my case, or pride, like in ops, sometimes you do need to nip it in the bud. Taking the high road only takes you so far. It always bothers me when people say take the high road. I consider that a bitch move in most instances, indicative of either giving up or cowardice. In my mind, taking the high road is only effective when you have vastly more power because it tells that you could blow them away, but it's not worth your time. If you have approximately equal power or are weaker than them, it's indicative of the issue not being worth defending, or giving up before you lose. If you really believe in something, you just got to get scrappy and protect it. It's all well and good to take the higher route, but some things need to be said and some fights need to be had. As the philosopher John Dalton said, now is the time to not be nice. Not the butthole ofs. YouTube link. If I'm not mistaken, it sounds like your crew, so would you even get to give a speech if you win anyways? Regardless, not the butthole. Get ready to use that block button though. Congrats on the film. Good luck. Original poster replies. No, not at all. But what kid didn't come up with their own Oscar speech? Kate Winslet practiced with a shampoo bottle and a bathroom mirror growing up. Thanks. I couldn't be prouder to work on this film. Kid. I'm 28 and still every year I come up with a slightly different version of mine. I've never been one for the spotlight, but I have practiced my I am the so of a winner reaction. Shrug. I, too, have practiced my significant other reaction. I'm not creative at all. But I can marry someone creative. Exactly. And, I also have my face full of love for when the camera pans back to me as my significant other thanks me for their win. This is wholesome. I have a bunch of speeches lined up in case I ever do something impressive. Hasn't happened yet, but one can still hope anyways. And the award for Best Pumpkin Butt goes to... not the butthole. So what is your Oscar speech? The one that you give in front of your mirror? My assumption is that it doesn't spend as much time on the negativity. If you haven't already, I think you should give that speech to your wife and your friends/family you want to thank, or that will nod along and enthusiastically agree while you talk about how hard you worked and the journey you took to get here. Congrats on the nomination. I love this idea. My friends and I would have Oscar watch parties while dressed up in our mom's clothes, jewelry and heels, and practice winning and delivering our winning Oscar speeches for Best Actress or Best Director. I'd also practice my Joan Rivers red carpet conversation on what I was wearing, laughing out loud. But alas, I ended up in a completely different job field. If I'm not mistaken, you kind of sound like a butthole for saying that. What's the point of reading the post and saying, well, you wouldn't be able to give a speech anyway? Thank you. Such an unnecessary dig. I had this thought too. Crew can be anything: costumer design, sound, editing, special effects, etc. Award nominees in these categories also get to say an Oscar speech. Not the butthole. But I hope you're ready for your family to hate you for a long time more. Original poster replies: I stopped going back to my old state for Thanksgiving after my uncle got drunk and insulted my wife and her mother, who came along with us. My wife and friends have been telling me to stop talking to them. I think I will. Not the butthole, but just cut them out. Totally original poster. Allowing them to occupy headspace during a moment that should be all about you and your accomplishments only hurts you. This is my favorite answer. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.